How has the Russian invasion of Ukraine affected the Ukrainian civilians? According to Ukraine's government, up to 33,000 civilians have been killed due to the conflict. However, the United Nations estimates the death toll to be around 6,900. This includes the deaths of 429 children. The UN also estimates that almost 11,000 civilians have been wounded. Most civilian casualties have been caused by shelling from heavy artillery, rocket launchers, missiles, and airstrikes. Almost 8 million Ukrainians have fled the country, creating Europe's largest refugee crisis since World War II, and the largest refugee crisis of the 21st century. 90% of the refugees are women and children, since Ukraine's government has banned most men from leaving the country. By the end of May, 6.8 million had fled, majority of whom had gone to Poland, which received 3.6 million refugees, while Romania had the second highest number of refugees at almost 1 million. But the Russians began evacuating, deporting, and forcibly relocating hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians to poorer parts of Russia, after first sending them to concentration camps. So currently Russia has the most refugees at 2.9 million, followed by Poland at 1.6 million, and Germany at over 1 million. 4.5 million Ukrainians who fled the country early on have returned to Ukraine since the war began. By May, 8 million Ukrainians had become internally displaced, meaning they've lost their homes, but they still remain within the country's borders. In total, 16 million Ukrainians have lost their homes, about 39% of the country's population. In the first month of the war, out of Ukraine's almost 8 million children, 4 million lost their homes, of whom around 2 million fled the country. Between 13,000 and 300,000 Ukrainian children have been deported to Russia, and thousands have been forcibly adopted to Russian parents. In violation of the rule of war, most of Russia's drone and missile strikes have targeted civilian areas and infrastructure far away from the battlefield. This has caused widespread destruction of Ukrainian homes, apartment buildings, theaters, railway stations, streets, shopping centers, hospitals, and schools. This has severely crippled Ukraine's infrastructure, and particularly its critical energy infrastructure. Over 1,000 Russian drones and missiles have aimed at Ukraine's energy grid, seriously affecting energy distribution across the country. By November, 50% of Ukrainian civilians were without electricity or heating systems due to half the country's energy systems being destroyed. Russia has also carried out strikes on Ukrainian water systems. The economy has taken a huge hit, and Ukraine's total GDP shrunk by about 40% in 2022. Other war crimes committed by Russia include massacres, torture, and rape committed against women and children. On top of all of that, a large part of Ukraine has been forcibly annexed into Russia after referendums were staged where people voted to join Russia because they were held at gunpoint. This area claimed by Russia is home to 7 million ethnic Ukrainians who have been recognized by Putin as Russian citizens, and they're now forced to accept their invader as their new leader.